So one of my longtime homegirls hit me up this morning and was telling me that she is in a long distance relationship with this man and that she really does love him, but she said that he lacks in the communication department. And so I told her, I said, that's a major red flag, and that the things that, we ignore or try to, I guess, I don't want to say accept but I guess the things that we ignore and accept now are later going to be the reasons why you leave that person, right? And she acknowledged that, she knows that that's a major issue. She really loves the man, but she understands that she has to be smart, right? And she was like, she hates that she feels the way that she feels because she knows that she's too grown pretty much for the situation that she knows that she's, about to or considering putting herself in. And so I told her myself that I spent 8 years with someone where every single red flag that I tried to justify, that was what I was trying to say in the beginning. Every single red flag that I tried to justify, every every character flaw that I called myself accepting, all of those things were the reason why I left. And a lot of the times, I think I talked about this in another video, but a lot of the time, we will get into these relationships or we'll get into these situationships or whatever we want to call them. And literally from day uno, we know that this does not work for us. My little play sister asked me a few months ago, she said, when did you think, she said, if looking back on it now, she said, when do you think that you should have left? And in the first place. And I told her, I said, I honestly should have never even got into it. And that's no shot or no shade to him himself, but it's to say that all of the things that were non-negotiables for me, all of the things that were like, nope, hell no, I'm not doing it, all of those things I tried to accept. I gaslit myself into, oh, well, nobody's perfect, or maybe after a while he'll understand that this is not how things are supposed to go. Maybe that's not what happened. And then the more that you are asking someone to give you what you know that they're not capable of, the worse that it's going to get for you, right? Because you're going to be desiring something from somebody because you want the person. You're going to be desiring something from somebody that they literally, you and them both know that they cannot give you. And a lot of the times, the person that you're asking these things of, I know I used to get a lot of, oh, you want too much from me, or I'll never be good enough for you and your expectations, or it'd be like things like that, right? And if I would have just looked at the situation and said, you know what, this is a really nice man, but this man can't give me what I desire, or this man is not yet ready for the kind of love that I desire and that I'm offering, I would have saved myself a lot of grief. And I told her that. Hindsight is 2020, I always say that. But I don't care if you find a perfect man. Well, not perfect because no one's perfect, but the perfect man for you. I don't care if that man doesn't come to you until you're 53. I am in a place in my life now where at 35, I would much rather be single and happy by myself than to be trying to compromise on things that I know I'm not okay with just for the sake of having a person around. Because it's all, a whirlwind of romance for at least I'm going to say at maximum, the first year. And then eventually when those rose-colored goggles turn clear and you start seeing people for who and what they actually are, you'll be sitting there like, what the fuck did I do? And a lot of times as women, we get so deep into the situation that we're like, well, damn, I'm already here. I might as well try to make it work. And you don't even understand that it will never work. It will never work. If somebody wants to give you what you desire, they will give it to you. You don't got to beg for it. You don't got to bribe them. You don't got to be like, oh, well, I do this, you should do this. You don't got to do none of that shit. If a person cannot communicate with you, that is not the person for any fucking body, to be honest with you. And I've always talked about too how some people are literally committed to misunderstanding you. I was in a relationship with someone where no matter what I said, they always found a way to twist my words. If I said, I could use a little bit more help around the house, they would be like, "Oh, so you're just saying I don't help with anything?" And it's just like that's not what I said. And so for her, I told her, I said, I feel like you are considering moving across the country for this man. So imagine moving your whole life and your children across the country, and then it doesn't work out. You're not around family. I just feel like it's a setup from the beginning, honestly. And I love love. I'm always so for my friends finding and falling in love and being loved properly. But I'm not for my friends not being loved the way that they should and desire to be loved.